Hello everyone. Today we have a topic called NetWitness-CrowdStrike integration through ThreatConnect for the demo. As an analyst, I want to perform quick actions or isolate or unisolate a particular CrowdStrike agent through ThreatConnect. So this uh, problem can be achieved through this particular feature. So the solution is first we have to establish a connection between the CrowdStrike and ThreatConnect by providing a client ID and the client secret of the CrowdStrike in the ThreatConnect REST API. And once the connection is established between the CrowdStrike and ThreatConnect, we have to establish connection between NetWitness and the ThreatConnect by providing client ID and the client secret of the ThreatConnect in the Explore page of the response actions. So once this connection is established, we will be having some of the out of the box rules in the response actions page to perform containment and lift containment of the CrowdStrike agent. Here is the steps to configure or integrate ThreatConnect and the NetWitness platform. This is the snapshot of response action server explore page. We have to click on the NW response connector ThreatConnect and we have to provide a client ID and the client secret provided by the ThreatConnect, and this is the ThreatConnect host name. Port is 443 by default and prefix URL is API/playbook by default. Use proxy, either we can use true or false, and use SSL should be true. Username we have to provide, and verify SSL is false here. If we make it as a true, then we have to provide a proper certificate of partner stage threatconnect.com to perform the quick actions successfully. As I said, we have out of the box rules in the response actions page, that is contain host on the CrowdStrike and lift containment of host on the CrowdStrike. So connector type is ThreatConnect for both of the out of the box rules. We are already aware of performing the quick actions either from the respond page or the investigate page. So these out of the box rules will be displayed in the quick actions of the respond or investigate page. Once action is performed, we can check the status, either it is successful or failed, and failure messages in the response action history of the response action page. So let's move to demo. As I said, first we have to establish connection between ThreatConnect and the CrowdStrike. So right now we have a CrowdStrike uh, client ID and the client secret. And in ThreatConnect, we have to configure one REST API that actually establishes connection between ThreatConnect and the CrowdStrike. So type should be any name we can provide here, and service this type should be service API, and services we can select NetWitness response actions proxy. Next, launch services in anyone we can select here, and API path is NetWitness proxy, we can change suitably. Here we can provide CrowdStrike client ID and the CrowdStrike client secret. Once we save here, the REST API will get created in this list, and we have already created for NetWitness proxy API. We cannot create repeatedly. So we can directly make use of this service NetWitness proxy VI in our OOTB actions. So let's see in the NetWitness how we can integrate this REST API and we can perform a quick actions. So now the connection between the ThreatConnect and CrowdStrike is successful. We have to establish connection between NetWitness and the ThreatConnect. So in the Explore page, we have a response action server. Let's click on View Explore. Click on NW Response Connector ThreatConnect. Here we already provided a client ID and the client secret of the ThreatConnect, and this is the partner stage threatconnect.com. That is the ThreatConnect name. Instance ID and other informations like password, username is not required. It is an optional for this feature. And if we make use of true in the verify SSL, we have to provide a suitable certificate of partner stage threatconnect.com to perform action successfully. Once we provided these informations, it will establish a connection between NetWitness and the ThreatConnect. So it will directly access the CrowdStrike agents to perform the actions. And as we said, in under more in response actions, we have couple of out of the box rules for this particular feature with a connector type ThreatConnect. So one is contain host on the CrowdStrike. We can also edit this out of the box, but we cannot edit action name, service API path, URL path, and parameters. We can only edit the description, and we can add and delete the applicable metas as per our requirement. One more thing we can observe here, service API path, which is same as what we have configured in the partner stage threatconnect.com. We are making use of that particular REST API path here. Same thing for lift containment host. If we edit, we can see some of the applicable metas by default. We can add or delete the applicable metas as per our requirement. And we have service API path, URL path we cannot edit, and parameters also we cannot edit. This is the default parameter. So we can perform some of the actions by using these OOTB rules. Let's go to the respond page and we'll try to contain CrowdStrike IP. This is the CrowdStrike agent. Let's try to perform the quick actions on that particular CrowdStrike agent. So here we have a quick actions. We have to click on quick actions and we have to select contain host to perform the to isolate that particular CrowdStrike agent, this particular IP addresses. We have to enter some of the comments here. IP address. So this will give the successful message. That means this particular IP or the CrowdStrike agent is contained or it is blocked from the NetWitness. The successful message and reason we can see in the view action history of the response actions. This is the success. This particular IP is blocked. And the same message we can view in the ThreatConnect partner stage as well by clicking on this particular service API path. CrowdStrike containment is successful. There is no error message. Here we can see the succeeded as true. Let us perform lift containment as well on this particular IP address. Unisolating host is also successful. We can see this particular message in a response action history. That is lift containment host on the CrowdStrike. The status is successful. This is the IP. Same thing we can view in services NetWitness proxy v1 API path. CrowdStrike lift containment. Let's try to contain or lift containment of the IP address which is not a part of CrowdStrike agent. For example, 10.100.33.6 is not a CrowdStrike agent. CrowdStrike agent IP. Let's try to contain it. In NetWitness, it will give the success message, that is action, that quick action is successful. But in partner stage, we can see the error message. So particular as a error message there. Block non IP, CrowdStrike IP, that is my comment. And here, this particular action is successful. In response action history as well, will get the successful message that action from NetWitness is successful. But in ThreatConnect playbook, we can see the error message that device ID not found, because this is not a CrowdStrike agent IP. Thank you.